Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you all this Wednesday morning. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm one of the Asian Wellness students. Today, for our warm-up, we're going to go over the circular breathing, which we reviewed this past Saturday. Just as a quick note or review, the lower dantian is 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. The perineum is at the lowest element of the torso, so basically the opposite of do 20. And the big spine point is just at the base of the neck, somewhere in here around the first thoracic vertebra, and the seventh cervical vertebra, and then the palms. And if you want to get super specific, where your middle finger would curl in to meet in a loose fist upon the palm between the second and third thumb here. But it doesn't need to be that specific, just the palms. All right, so let's begin. We're opening up to the left. The feet are parallel. We're relaxing into the space, relaxing into the moment. The bottoms of the feet are relaxing into the floor, relaxing into the earth. The knees are softening. We're dropping the tailbone, relaxing the low back, relaxing the shoulders, softening the jaw, allowing the very tip of the tongue to reach the roof of the mouth. Drawing the head up just a little bit, reaching for the sky. And then we're going to allow a little bit of space between or underneath the arms, between the arms and the torso, so that the chi can flow and circulate freely. We're breathing in and out through the nose. And then you can either close the eyes or maintain a soft, unfocused gaze. We're inhaling through the nose, drawing the breath down to the lower dantian. Exhaling also through the nose down to the perineum. Inhaling all the way up to that big spine point at the base of the neck. And exhaling to the palms. Inhaling down to the lower dantian. Exhaling to the perineum. Inhaling up to the big spine point. And then exhaling to the palms. Inhaling, lower dantian. Exhaling, perineum. Inhaling, big spine point. Exhaling to the palms. Continuing with the circular breathing at your own pace. Allowing the mind's eye to both follow and guide the breath. Flowing along its route. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Relaxing into the exercise. allowing the body to relax. Allowing the chi to flow within this circular route, facilitating greater communication between the organ systems, communication between the front of the body and the back of the body. And getting ready to close. The eyes are closed, allow it to open. Closing, bringing that left foot back to the right. And continuing on with our Golden Eight. One large intestine exercise, reach for happiness. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Flowing through the exercise, allowing your breath to guide the movement. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our second exercise, the archer exercise for the heart and small intestine. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. and out. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our spleen stomach exercise between heaven and earth. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Allowing the movements to be an expression of the breath. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our Sanjiao exercise, turn and look back. Inhaling, exhaling, in, and out. Inhaling, and exhaling. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our liver gallbladder exercise, twist and release. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Enjoying each element of the exercise as one element flows into the next. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our kidney urinary bladder exercise, and for health, opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling back to standing. Continuing on. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our Ren channel exercise, energy punch. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. About one more time, each side. And closing. Our dew channel exercise, energy jump in 2 parts. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. Transitioning to part 2. Inhaling as the arms raise up. Exhaling, coming back. And closing. Keeping the feet together, bringing the palms together as we transfer some of that wonderful energy to the palms so that we may then transfer it to the face, washing the face 9 times. Wiping the brow, above the brow, and then underneath the eye 9 times. Wiping the entirety of the nose 9 times. And then circles inward and outwards 9 times each. Underneath the eye, at the cheekbone, inwards and outwards 9 times. Dredging the channels of the scalp 9 times. Beating the drum 9 times. Grasping and massaging the ears 9 times each side. Popping the cork. And then 1 finger on the filter and the other the mandibular crease, inward and outward 9 times. Massaging the jaw 9 times each side. our number changes to 12 times total, or 6 times each side, looking up, brushing down the throat. And then 12 times total, 6 times each side, brushing down the breastbone. Guiding the hands and the chi to the lower dantian, circling 9 times up the right, down the left. We're starting to gather all that wonderful energy that we've been cultivating into the lower dantian. And then switching directions 9 times, concentrating that energy. Resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, letting that energy settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up. Exhaling, allowing the mind to relax, the body to relax, and the chi to settle and store. Thank you so very, very much. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Henry, would you please guide us in our chi chat?
Hi, good morning, everybody. We're on day 49. So thank you for joining us so far in our journey of this daily Qigong. Definitely have ups and downs, but stay with your practice. We're almost to that 2-month mark. Wow. Okay. Today we're going to talk quickly about more about the eyes, right? We talked yesterday about the eyes and fire and what that means in terms of how the fire shows up in the eyes. It's our spirit. So the spirit of our eyes, like the energy, the sparkle that we see, that's the fire that's in our eyes. However, you might be curious about what the other elements mean for the eyes. Okay, so they all show up in the eyes too. All right, so this fire, we all have fire, that spirit really comes out. Now, we also say that there's different, we all have different gifts and challenges, and we can also associate ourselves with the different elements. So some of us tend to be more wood, some of us tend to be more fire, earth, metal, water, okay? So what does that exactly mean, right? Because we talked about how the 5 elements associate with different things like seasons, emotions, organs, foods even. So all these associations, that also associates with personality and gifts, internal gifts that we have. So when we look for the eyes and like the energy of the wood, okay, when we look at wood, for example, that's springtime, and we look at that's the time of like, rebirth or birth or growth, okay? And the emotions associated with spring and wood is anger and passion, okay? So when we look for that in the eyes, it's more of that focus. So wood energy tends to have that focus in the eyes, like that stare, okay? And like when they look at you, you feel like, whoa, it's like very strong, like kind of like almost someone's like pointing a finger at you kind of thing. Like their eyes are like, all right. So it can be a little bit scary if you're not used to it, or just very like direct. So that would be more the wood energy, how that shows up in the eyes. Okay, fire we already talked about. It's more of that sparkliness, and someone who has a lot of fire. Okay, so there's a lot of that jumpiness as well. Hard to sit still, hard to stay still. So you really see that reflected in the eyes as well. So the sparkles are like this, and it's kind of like mimicking fire. Okay, so fire it's not monolithic. It doesn't just stay still, right? Contrary to say like earth or wood. All right, so the next element up is wood. So when we look for, excuse me, earth. Okay, when we look for what we look for in earth in the eyes, there's a certain caring, like a softness to the eyes, that's very welcoming, like someone's going to take care of you, kind of thing. So that's really like Mother Earth energy that we look for. Okay, and then as it relates to metal. Okay, so metal. What's the emotion of metal? It's grief, sadness, but also compassion. Okay, and we look for that. That's in the fall season. So how does that relate to the eye? So metal is also it's very good about boundaries, their boundaries, your boundaries. It's a little bit standoffish, okay? So it can be a little bit cool sometimes, but they may not necessarily be cool, but if you just see the eyes, it may not be like the opposite would kind of be the earth eyes. The earth eyes are very receptive and you feel like someone's going to take care of you. But with metal, they're more cool. They're a little bit more like distant and standoffish. And that's just the eyes, okay? And then the energy of water. So water is about wisdom on one hand, fear. Those are the emotions, organs, kidneys, bladder, and that's the winter time, okay? And that's also the end of the cycle. So when we look for more watery type eyes, it's not just literally like watery, okay? More like dreamy, okay? Like a dreamy eyes. Like it's also a little soft like the earth, but it's more like dreamy. Sometimes they might be a little bit off into the distance, more philosophical, thinking about other things. So, so that's a little bit about how you can distinguish the energy in the eyes, at least, in the different 5 elements. So that's our little chit chat for the day. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the other features of the face, since we've been doing the facial rejuvenation exercises. So we will see you tomorrow at 8:15. Is there a question, Mary Frances?
I think Corey has a question, but also Edie asked at the very beginning of the class about where you filmed the your time-lapse photography, because it was so beautiful.
The film that is running before class is from Iceland. I really miss Iceland right now. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place. A lot of just insane, magical scenery. And a lot of that footage was shot in the summertime when there's 24 hours of daylight. And that makes it even more magical when you see the sun just hover around the horizon for like 8 hours at night. Okay. Corey had a question?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, I was wondering, does the baseline energy as it's reflected in the eyes, is that always consistent throughout one's life, or is that able to change?
Is that consistent? Oh, does it change? Yes, it can change. So as we get older, the hope is that we get wiser and also we get more grounded, right? We get more sure of ourselves. Like when we were in our 20s or teens, we're not quite sure of the world, we don't have that wisdom of experience, life experience. So as we get older, the tendency is that most of us get more water, which is the emotion of wisdom, and the element of earth. Okay, the earth is more grounded. So we tend to settle down, put our roots into the ground more. Not everybody, okay, and this may be more energetic and literal, okay. But we get more grounded, we're more sure of ourselves, and that's more earth energy. So our faces can change, and also our eyes can change. You know, if you experience like a trauma or maybe a death in a family or a close, you know, life-death experience, of course, that's also going to affect you too. Both in the short term, especially like if you notice anyone that's grieving, you know, their face is going to change. If they go through a traumatic experience, you may notice suddenly like they get lots of gray hairs, all right? So those are things, so it's not static. It definitely changes for all of us. So thanks for the question.